Okay, it's time for a very exciting update. Last year, we introduced you to a very impressive individual, Silvia Stajer, a Toronto paramedic and triathlete going for the world record of being the youngest person to complete a full Ironman on all 6 continents. Well, 1 year later, and she is only 1 Ironman away now from completing her goal. She heads to Japan next month. Let's welcome back Silvia Stajer to CP24 Breakfast before she finally completes her feat. Silvia, it's so great to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, I feel like you've literally been around the world and back. You recently completed Lake Placid.
Yeah.
Talk about that race because it sounded so grueling with the wet weather. I mean, the ascent on the bike and the run. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, Lake Placid, you know, it was definitely one of the most challenging. They've all been challenging in their own way, but between the elevation, the rain, not being able to control the weather, obviously, like in every race, was just incredibly difficult, having numb feet for almost the entire run.
Yeah.
But the advantage to Lake Placid was that it was so close to home, so having a big support crew throughout the race was something so special and something I'll remember forever for sure.
Yeah, having that support crew and people cheering you on, that really makes all the difference in the world. You were nice enough to cheer me on when I did my first half Ironman in Muskoka. And to remind people who don't know what a full Ironman is, we're talking a 3.8K swim, 180-kilometer bike ride, finished off by a full marathon at 42.2 kilometers. I have to say congratulations to you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Placed the podium in South Africa for your age group, second.
Yes. Yeah.
How did that feel?
Again, surreal. You know, my coaches and I, when we're going through these races, we kind of had to dial it back to about 85% because we know it's such a tight timeline in between races.
Right.
So to be able to make the podium and finish second place in a race was incredibly special. And the race before that, qualifying for Kona, which I'll be doing in October, you know, hitting these huge milestones within this world record attempt has been incredibly special and just really a true test and believing in myself that I can do hard things and continue to do hard things throughout all this.
And inspire people to do hard things because let's remind people of, you know, your whole goal for doing this is the hashtag why not you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, people will say that all the time is like, because I've seen your videos and your stories, I've gotten out there and I've done a 2-kilometer run or, you know, you've given me the motivation and I've seen the discipline it takes to do this. And that really is what keeps me going.
Yeah.
You know, I love being able to inspire people because it's those people that I also look up to, right? That's how I got into this, was seeing a video, seeing a post online, thinking, oh, why can't I do something astonishing and set records and goals and dream big? It's truly so special.
And that's exactly what you're doing, making those dreams happen. You also, I think it was the second of the Ironmans was in Italy. What was that like?
Italy was special, you know, being an Italian citizen myself and traveling back to somewhere I spent so many summers as a child and racing through there, biking through this extraordinary country was so special. And of course the food was amazing. The carb loading there was pretty easy. But yeah, that was an incredible race and, you know, definitely a race I'd like to go back to someday too.
Okay, let's talk about your training. I mean, between these races, so for the one between Lake Placid and Japan, you're saying quite short, 6-week turnaround. But for the other ones, are you just kind of keeping in your top form physique, like training really hard, but also being strategic about when to let your body recover?
Yeah, definitely. That's been something that we've had to fine tune is, you know, allowing myself, you know, a week to recover, but also remembering that, okay, in 5 weeks, it's go time again, you know? So kind of going through the peaks and the valleys of training and just being able to maintain kind of this base fitness. Because even between Japan, which I leave for in less than a month, and Kona, it's like a 3-week turnaround.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty tight race, but
my gosh.
it's definitely allowing myself, you know, sleep, recover, eat, all these important things to keep in mind to make sure I can get to the next race healthy.
Oh my gosh. What has the journey been like mentally for you? How have you evolved since setting this goal in May of 2024 when we spoke to you at 299 Queen Street? You know, you announced you were doing this, getting ready for your first one, to where you are now, almost realizing your goal. What has been going through your head? How do you think you've kind of changed or grown?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. You know, I feel like I have just such a new form of discipline in myself. And it's just really this internal curiosity of what I'm capable of and what the
Yeah.
human body's capable of. When you set your mind to something, you can dream so big, and these barriers that you set out for yourself, you can break past them. You know, if you were to ask me 2-3 years ago if I would be doing an Ironman, first of all, I probably wouldn't even know what it was. And second of all, I would say there's no way. But
Yeah.
once you actually set your mind to something and you have this discipline, the mental strength it takes to achieve your goal is something that I really think I've starting to scratch the surface towards.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what else is possible and what else can happen out there.
Oh my gosh, I can't, I'm just going through my mind, following your Instagram and all the things you've done, all the work that you've put in
lots
to get
of
to where
hours.
you are. And I'm sure there are times where you're just like, this effing sucks. I don't want to do it anymore.
Absolutely.
But you have to overcome that, right?
Yeah. That's the difference, between the
Wow.
motivation and discipline.
Yeah.
Is just keep grinding
Keep
day
going.
by day.
Just do it. I mean,
Yeah.
Summer McIntosh said you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Absolutely, yeah. Find comfort in the pain. You
Yeah.
know, that's what this is all about.
Oh my gosh, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I wish
Thank
you
you,
the
Jen.
best of luck in Japan. I'm sure you're going to crush it.
Thank you.
Silvia Stajer, youngest person in the world. I'm going to say it now because she's going to do it to complete a full Ironman on all 6 continents.
There we go.
So great to meet you. I am cheering you on. We all are. Thank you,
you so
Silvia.
much, Jen.
What
Thank
an
you.
inspiration.